Hello again, YouTube. My name is Bree, and today I am painting a fan art. So, the Persona series is probably my favorite video game series. I'm absolutely obsessed with it. And this particular character comes from the game Persona 5. For those of you who don't know, the Persona franchise is a little weird. I've really only played from 3 on. I've played a little bit of like the original Persona when it came out for PSP, but I never got around to playing 2. Or either of the 2 games. There were 2 Persona 2s. But basically, the game is a hybrid of a life simulator and a dungeon crawler. The games are very long to accommodate everything, but you play as a high school character in at least 3, 4, and 5, who every day goes to school, has homework. You don't have homework, but you study. You meet up with friends, you have a job, all kinds of normal everyday stuff. But you also have the dungeon crawling aspect. So maybe a couple nights a month you go to the dungeon and you do the typical grind associated with dungeon crawlers. So it's a kind of a weird mix of things that for me really works. I could very much understand it if other people did not like this kind of game because for starters, I've put hundreds of hours into this series just because an individual game might take 80 hours to play. So right off the bat, I know it's not for everyone. But for me, I just love how stylized the games are. They're really unique. Each game has kind of its own style. And it's not even just the art and the way it's presented, it's the music. Each game has its own band that makes the soundtrack for it. And it's a different style of music for each game that really brings out the mood of the game. The characters are all very unique. I mean, to some extent, they come off in the beginning as like stereotypes for their type of character, but the backstories behind them as you grow your friendships with them, they really shine in their own right. And I don't know, I love the games. I love the battle mechanics. I like the social aspect of it. It's single player, but with your in-game friends. And yeah, I like the challenge of trying to complete everything because I'm a bit of a completionist in video games, so it gives me way too much to do and it holds my interest. So, like I said, I started with Persona 3 back in, I think, early 2008. I watched like one episode of the anime that I think it was called Persona Trinity Soul, and I don't even think I liked the show that much, but I immediately fell in love with the concept and was like, this is based off a game. I have to find this game. So I started looking at all the like online retailers and local stores trying to find it. And when I couldn't, I started looking for near the bigger cities near me, like Orlando, trying to find it and could not find this game anywhere. It was driving me crazy. So yeah, I was starting to give up. I was getting really upset, and then for some reason I thought about Sears and found it at Sears. I pretty much didn't even know Sears was still in business, but they saved my butt for this one. So I went to Sears, got the game, and really lucked out because it came with like a little tiny hardcover art book, which bonus points. And yeah, immediately fell in love with it. Persona 3 was the darkest of the games I've played, and I really like that dark story. But all of the games that I've played, I've really liked. To the point where Persona 4, I have an issue. I played like the original, and then there were fighting games that were based on it. I played those. I don't even like fighting games. And then there was a dance game, and I played the crap out of that. And then they came out with Persona 4 Golden, which is basically the original Persona 4 game with additional content, additional characters. And yeah, I played that multiple times and then bought it in Japanese too and played some of that. So I basically have a massive problem where this franchise is concerned. I even bought a 3DS just to play Persona Q, and that's all I've played on it is Persona Q and Persona Q2. So, yeah, then by the time Persona 5 was announced, I knew I would be hooked. So I went ahead and pre-ordered it and pre-ordered the art book because it's a 500-page monstrosity and I love that thing. But I knew I was going to want to do a lot of fan art because when the earlier games came out, I wasn't really drawing. That came to me pretty late in life. I say that like I'm near dead or anything. I'm I'm just older. But yeah, so I decided I wanted a sketchbook to dedicate to my obsession so that I can contain it. I didn't want it taking over all of my sketchbooks. So I came across this handbook and company Travelogue watercolor sketchbook, and I had seen this used on YouTube. I know Audra Auclair was a big fan of it. I think she still is. But when I saw it, I'm like, oh, this is going to be my sketchbook, and it's my Persona sketchbook. So I started using it, I think, in 2017. I bought it in 2016 because I wrote that down. And I did a few pages, but then kind of gradually lost interest in it, and I'm not sure why. Maybe I slowed down on art too. I can't remember. But Persona 5 Royal just came out. So once again, like Golden, it's pretty much the same game with extra content, extra characters, and I swear I was not going to buy this. I had every intention to not buy it. It comes out around the same time as Final Fantasy VII Remake and Last of Us, and I don't have as much time for video games anymore, so I'm not going to purchase it. And I did, because I have no self-control. So anyway, I played for about 2 hours and immediately dug out the sketchbook and started furiously sketching. And I think that part shows because there's a lot of pencil marks on this sketch that did not come up. And it's a pretty messy sketch. But decided I'd try painting it anyway because it is a watercolor sketchbook. For a moment, I considered using my Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolor set because that's the set I used when I first got the sketchbook, but decided against it. I only need so many challenges when I'm working on something. So I used my normal Schmincke set, and that first layer I put down was not pleasant. I don't know if it's just the age of the sketchbook or if I had a lot maybe oil in my hands when I was sketching and it just soaked into the paper, but I put down that Payne's blue-gray layer for the inside of the jacket and it came out so cloudy. I was devastated. I thought I was just going to give up on this right away. I'm glad I didn't. I mean, I'm not going to pretend this is the most beautiful thing I ever did. It's a messy sketch and I just spent, I think, maybe 3 hours on it in total, but honestly, I had fun. I think I got my little Persona kick out of my system. I'm obviously still going to play the game, but I don't feel the need to keep drawing, at least at this present time. We'll see what happens when I meet Fox again. But yeah, it was fun. So I tried to keep this pretty simple. I mean, the character doesn't even have legs. For the record, the character's name is Joker, or that's his code name. His name is left to the player to decide. When I first started it, the name that was semi-canon was Akira Kusuru? I can't remember. But now I think it's Ren something. I didn't keep up with the new name. But, yeah. So I guess I've rambled on long enough. I figured I'd introduce you guys to one of my obsessions. I don't play as many video games as I used to. I used to play all the time. I guess I honestly gave up a lot of video game time for painting and for reading, which is fine. But I have a feeling I'm going to be playing a lot of games lately, soon, between Persona 5 Royal, the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I believe Last of Us 2 just got delayed, which, while disappointing, I don't have time for it, so that's cool. It works for me. But yeah, so I hope you're all doing well and keeping healthy and safe. I know a lot of you out there are enjoying Animal Crossing right now, so whatever works for you, I'll be playing Persona. Yay for games. In any case, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks. Bye.